I think from my perspective, I think lot of common themes have been already said about spectrum, backhaul, cloud. I mean, my perspective on this whole thing is that supply will create the demand, and not the other way around. And we have seen those in some markets where 5G has already been launched. Take Korea as an example. In the same timeline when 4G was launched, 5G rollout has been faster than 4G. The uptake of 5G in terms of subscriptions versus LTE has been 3 times faster than what it was in LTE for the similar period. In terms of consumption, the latest reports say that it's also 3 times faster and better than LTE. I think that gives an indication, and this is in a market where you have the best of the technologies available. You have a pan-Korea Wi-Fi, you have the best of the fixed networks, you have fantastic DSL speeds there. If in a market like Korea, the supply that got created, that generated the demand, look at what will happen to India in 2020-21 when we open this new technology on the road. So it will unleash the new power that the consumers will enjoy, and at a rate where our smartphone subscription is only 50% or less than 50% of the total population. And if that gets extended to another 20% in the next 12 to 18 months, it's going to be a phenomenal change and a big transformation for the market. So from a technology standpoint, I would say that the technology is working, it is affordable, it is in the right place. So there are no doubts about the technology per se, I must say. I think that provides an opportunity for the market where we have a policy in the place which will take Indian users to the next wave of adopting this 5G. Now let's talk about the challenges. I think from India's standpoint, we have always been a spectrum-starved country, unfortunately. But the recent indications from the government are that they have opened up a lot of spectrum in the recent past, at least in the last 2 to 3 years. But for 5G, we still have a lot of challenges in the spectrum that has been earmarked for 5G. 700, a premium band, very little bandwidth, the reserve price is too high, hence not affordable. On 3.5, 3.3 to 3.4 is occupied by defense. 25 megahertz is occupied by ISRO. So literally there's only clean 175 megahertz of spectrum available for the operators. No mention of 28 gigahertz, no mention of 26 gigahertz. But for a long-term perspective, I would say if 5G has to really take a shape in India, it has to be a mix of low band, mid band, and high bands. And that's what would be a long-drawn roadmap from a spectrum standpoint. And I think that's our challenge number one from the market here, that the spectrum that has been assigned to 5G is still not sufficient to look at a long-term plan for India. The second challenge I would say is the transport. On the backhaul, fiber is an issue. Right of way is still being tackled, and it has been going on for quite some time. I think there are alternate means of providing backhaul with E-band, V-band. I think we need to have a clear plan around that in terms of when it will be auctioned or whether it will be auctioned or not, when will operators get access to that, so that there is an augmented capacity which 5G needs as part of the transport network. There is a clear stand on that as well. And the third piece is the security piece, which unfortunately, because of the architecture of 5G, where it connects multiple sensors, objects, IoT devices, it opens up interfaces like crazy. From a consumer-led industry to industry enterprise-led use cases. I do believe that that's going to be a significant challenge, I think, which needs some addressal in the policy making in terms of having a trustworthy policy. And I think that will probably give us some light of the day that yes, if it has to go to the roots, if it has to go to the masses, there's already a governing policy that entails the whole ecosystem and the governance of this 5G game plan for India. I think clearly with the indications that we see from global launches, there is a need, and especially from Indian market, then only half of the population is on smartphones. The huge spectrum is needed, which is wideband, which has low bands, And from a policy standpoint, a clear security policy and the transport policy has to be in place before we really go into that phase.